Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. I had some videos in store for yesterday that I was holding off on doing until today, but today there has been a change of plans. I don't know if I'm gonna do them later on tonight or what, but yeah. So, you see the title. And let me explain what has been going on today. Y'all already know the state of the world and what's going on. Not even talking about that virus. We are talking about George Floyd, who was killed. In actuality, I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but there was a new video that was released not too long ago, sometime today, if I'm not mistaken, like less than a few hours ago, where it shows all four of those police officers that were present during the eventual execution of Mr. George Floyd. They were beating him interchangeably while he was seated in the back of the squad car before he was taken out of the squad car and all the other stuff happened. And, he ultimately died. So, yeah, that's point number one. I had to make sure I got that out of the way because I don't know if other things are going to overshadow that before I'm done with this video. So, this morning, y'all, I already had a plan of everything I was going to do today. I was going to do something to my hair. And I was going to watch some anime and have me some personal spa time with myself here at the house, of course, in quarantine, away from people, and just relax because I'm off, and that's what I was going to do. Well, I got a little bit of my anime watching in, not as much as I wanted to, but that was fine. So there was a peaceful protest that happened here in the city that I live in. And it was very, very beautiful. I actually saw the live stream for it. I had no idea it was even happening because I'm not on social media like that. As far as the platform that it was posted on, I already told y'all I'd been hacked into. So one of my friends sent me the link. And so I was like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on. So I went on there and I saw what was going on. So anyway, that happened early this morning between 7 and 9 something. And during that live, I ended up actually going back and forth, so to speak, with a few people who were obviously racist and just did not want to understand what was even going on as far as why this peaceful protest was even happening and why the other ones have been happening, whether they've been peaceful or started off as peaceful and then became increasingly violent and destructive along the way. So I gotta calm down because it really boiled my blood this morning. But anyway, I kept seeing a whole lot of people in the first live stream, and this was the biggest one. This one drew in the most people. This specific one that was in this city of people who were viewing, and there was a decent amount of people who were it was an okay amount. I think they were kind of in front of the police station, courthouse. It's a lot of various buildings right there in between or whatever. So they were kind of in front of the police station, but across the street from it or something like that. But they were still in front of one of the judicial buildings or whatever, holding the protest. It was amazing. The signs were amazing. There was an amazing blend of people that were present. And you can tell that they were passionate about what they were saying. They were armed with facts. They had books. There were people who were in the comment section that were dumbfounded, and they were just like in awe of the fact that there are things that we as Black people living in America had to have in order to navigate the back roads, various states, and all this other stuff. things that we actually needed to know in order to survive or have a better chance of surviving outside of the things that we have to do now. And I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, almost nobody knew what was going on. It was like, what? I mean, this one guy got up there and like I said, he was talking about a book that tells you about certain laws and certain things that Black people had to do. Like y'all, if you don't know anything about it, I'm telling y'all, there's a wealth of information out there. It is in a book. It is on the internet. You can find all the stuff you need to know. It is very interesting and crazy and ridiculous that these things had to even exist. Do y'all know about the I think they call them sunset towns or sundown towns? Yeah, there are cities or towns that if you are Black, you better not be driving through there or passing through in any form of vehicle when the sun sets, because you may not come back to any place that you were going to, whether it was home or a business trip. You might not make it through the night. You might not come back alive. So yeah, that's just a fun fact, so to speak. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of people were there and they were talking about Black Lives Matter. This was one of the many Black Lives Matter movements that was going on. Well, in the comments section, there were a lot of ignorant people who were obviously racist. Less than a week ago, one of Trump's best friends, who is one of the main people who's buying up everything in this area and surrounding areas because of all the money that he possesses and he has nothing better to do with it, I'm pretty sure that it made national headlines about the mask that he had on, that he had made, and I think it had a Ku Klux Klan member on it or something. So yeah, you can pretty much guess where I live now if you didn't know before. But yeah, he's one of Trump's best friends. Like, I'm not just saying that. They literally are like the best of friends and they run in the same circles, and he's come here to visit this man before. But anyway, y'all, racism is alive and well. I have said this for as long as I can remember. I said that in the comments section, and there were so many people in that live stream that kept talking about not Black Lives Matter. They kept saying all lives matter, and why do y'all keep saying it's not just only Black lives that matter? And I kept telling people, apparently you don't understand what Black Lives Matter means for you to keep continuously wanting to yell it and scream it from the rooftops that all lives matter. This is not what that's about. I'm gonna need for you to understand what's going on before you come here. So there was this guy who tried to come at me sideways, like I don't know what I'm talking about, thinking as though he was educating me. He was shut down immediately, and I didn't do it in a negative way or a mean way or whatever. He tried to come at me and say something about how all lives matter and what's the point of this protest or whatever, saying all kinds of stupid stuff. And then he tried to arm me with a link to statistics about how there's black on black crime and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, what is the point of you telling me about something that I already am well aware of? I'm well aware of all these things. Anything that you could try to throw at me when it comes to this, I already know about it. And I said to him, I already know everything you're trying to say to me. That is something that you need to tell somebody else who might not know. You might be able to pull the wool over somebody else's eyes. You might be able to deflect and throw that foolishness at somebody else, but you can't come at me sideways with that information, because that's not going to move me or sway what I'm saying at all. I know what I'm talking about. I said to him, I am from one of the most racist states in the ununited states of America. That's literally what I said. So don't try to come at me trying to tell me nothing. I am from Alabama. I am from Montgomery, Alabama, the capital. I'm from the capital of the state of Alabama. So don't even come at me sideways. Y'all know about the civil rights movement. Y'all know all this stuff, all this history that my city is known for. That's just my city. That's just my city. Not even the surrounding cities, not the other cities that I visited and I have family members that are from originally. Like, don't try to come at me thinking that you're arming me with something with some knowledge that I'm somehow not aware of. I already know about statistics. And then he's going to try to say something about, oh, well, I don't understand why they're doing protests like this. Why don't they do protests? Why don't they start off with protests about black on black crime and all this other stuff? I hate when people say stuff like that, because I'm like, first of all, that lets me know that you don't understand that there are already things in place. People have already been doing things. I am friends with, and I know people who personally are out in the community all the time trying to make it have an amazing turnaround. You are never going to reach everybody. As long as you are realistic, then you won't get your feelings hurt as bad. Let me just put it like that, as bad. So I'm just like, don't come at me sideways talking about statistics. We're not going to go there when we're talking about statistics, because that's just whatever research that you found where it was actually reported. That was only the information that was documented. So don't come at me sideways. Just like these videos that have been coming up over the past however many years, when all the video footage has finally been coming out on people, I'm pretty sure that's just a drop in the bucket. So don't come at me sideways. Let's just ponder on all the ones that we haven't seen, all the ones that we will never see. There are people, y'all don't understand. If you don't know about the history of just Georgia alone, now this is not the only state that does this or is known for this, but this is one of the main ones that I grew up knowing this information since I was a child. And I had to school somebody on that too. I had to tell him about how you can't come at me sideways about nothing, because I've known about all sorts of information that you're trying to tell me about since I was a child. I'm 36 years old. You're older than me. And a lot of this stuff has been going on long before you and I have ever been even thought of in existence. So there's no reason for you to come at me. But anyway, y'all, he ain't say nothing else after that. And then it's like people get mad when people like what I talk about. And it's like they literally would love my comments. And it's like, why you mad at me? What you mad at me for? And when I tell you some of these signs were some of the most amazing signs, they had white silence is the loudest violence or something like that. Now y'all let me know in the comment section what it was. It was something like that, where it's talking about white silence is violence or something like that, or loud violence, you know. But it's basically saying that if you're white and you're trying to make it seem like you stand with us while all this stuff is going on, but you don't say nothing, and you know it's wrong, you're just as guilty as the people who are doing this to the men and women in our community. So don't sit up there talking about I support y'all, I back y'all, and then you just sit there silent while it's all going on. You just like, well, I'm white, so let me go over here. Let me tiptoe over here. I see some stuff going down. Let me tiptoe over here. I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to say nothing, whatever. The girl who recorded George Floyd being murdered, there's video circulating of her back at the scene of the crime that was committed by 4 police officers, where she was trying to get people to understand, look, I am not even 18 years of age, but despite that fact, who am I? How am I going to stop all this? Y'all wanted me to do all this stuff. If it hadn't been for me recording this, y'all would have never even seen that this was going on. Like, she was so emotional. And I agree with the people who have been saying, you know, let's do a GoFundMe for her to have money for college and all this other stuff. I think that that's an amazing idea. And that could be something that can be a bright spot in all of this craziness. Y'all, the second live stream that I saw was from a little bit over an hour away from here in another part of Virginia. And there were fewer people on the live stream, but there were way more people that were actually at whatever that location was. I mean, it was amazing. Like, I was captivated by the things that they were saying. Them people were really setting it off, and I was here for it. Their signs were immaculate. Like I said before, there was an amazing mixture of people that were there, and it was a beautiful sight, and it was peaceful as well. I haven't heard any rumblings of anything that has turned violent. Like, it really was a peaceful protest. And the people were just, everybody just kept reiterating, I'm tired of seeing this. I'm tired of every time I turn around, y'all are killing somebody. Don't try to sit up here. That's what makes me mad. I hate when people try to sit up here and make it seem like, well, I don't understand why y'all always want to make it seem like it's just a race thing. It's not a race thing. I see police officers that have killed white people before. Again, I don't understand why people do this. We already know that all sorts of situations happen, but in all of these instances where black people are being killed, whether a crime has been committed or not, you know good and well that these people who have been carted off to prison or jail, they were roughed up, halfway killed, and if they were killed, excessive force was used and all this. But prime example, what was his name? Dylan Roof or whoever it was, went in a church with an assault rifle, an automatic weapon, whatever it was, shot them people up. Shot them up. Shot him up like it was nothing. Killed 9, 10, 11 people. 9 people, I think, he killed. And what happened? They went and apprehended him. They didn't harm him at all. And he was armed. They didn't harm him at all. Took that fool somewhere to go get something to eat before they took him in. Before you fully arrested him and took him to be booked. You go take him somewhere to eat. I don't care if it was Burger King or wherever it was he went. Y'all took him to eat. But these people and their families, the people who he killed will never be able to, live again or eat again and all this other stuff. But y'all went and took him somewhere to eat. But somehow he's going to live to tell a story. He was able to live to tell the story. He was able to go to prison, jail, or wherever he at, if he's still alive. I don't even know. I'm telling you, when it gets to certain stories, I follow it up to a certain point. Then when they lock him away, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm tired. Because I'm usually emotionally drained by the time they finally do just a little bit just to say that they've served some justice. I'm sick and tired of it. I am very sick and tired of it. But anyway, y'all. Outside of everybody talking about all lives matter, I literally told people over and over again, for anybody who says all lives matter, you apparently don't understand what Black Lives Matter means or what the movement stands for. So until you understand that, go somewhere and sit down and don't come into forums, don't go on groups, don't go on lives, don't show up. Please don't show up to none of the rallies and protests. Do not do it. Because you don't even know what's going on. For you to still say, all lives matter. When I tell you, it was so many people out there who had a sign that said, all lives matter will never matter until Black Lives Matter. It was so many people that were still saying that. And I'm just like, why can't y'all see it? Look, read the signs, read them. People were literally saying that over and over again. And I'm just like, why can't you grasp that you are apparently behind on the times and you are making yourself blind to what has been going on? Why? I don't understand. And to kind of end this on not even before that, give me a few more minutes, y'all. I think Thursday or Friday, some news came out that the mayor of Mississippi said out of his raggedy lips that if you can talk, you can breathe. That is something that has always struck a chord with me, because there have been people who were like literally trying to catch their breath and they'd be like, oh, I can't breathe. Oh, I can't breathe. And that has happened to me before when my asthma has acted up in the past, when I did have really, really bad asthma issues from when smoke was around me, or it was really, really stuffy, or something happened to trigger my asthma. In all honesty, these masks that I've been required to start wearing as of last week at my job have been killing me, and my asthma has not acted up since the beginning of 2010 until now, because of these masks that I've been having to wear 8-9 hours a day at work. But anyway, I told people, I said, I hope that nobody was shocked by the fact that that man said that, given the fact that Mississippi literally just officially abolished slavery less than 10 years ago. So until y'all get stuff like that through your head on with it, nobody got to say, especially if you are on that all lives matter. All lives matter. Why y'all always want to make it a race thing? Because why is it that every time you look up, people are literally minding their business, driving while black, walking while black, living, trying to live while having melanated skin, and then somebody wants to call the police on them because they're barbecuing. They want to call the police on them because they're selling something, trying to better the neighborhood. You over here, there have been times where, did y'all see the video of the woman? She like worked in the Senate or somewhere. Like she had a high up position. A black woman had a nice vehicle. They pulled her over and they were talking about, oh, we pulled you over because we ran your plates. She was like, okay, but why did you even run my plates? Just pulled her over because they just wanted to randomly run plates and all this other stuff. And they only let her go and didn't try her because of the position that she held. She black. She's black. And the only reason why they let her go was because her position basically outranked theirs. Like, it's like, do you hear yourself? Oh, okay, it's all right now because you just identified who you are. So let me go somewhere and sit down for I don't have my little job no more. And that makes sense to you, and that's all right. Anyway, to end this on somewhat of a good note, one of the last people who wanted to respond to me in the second live video that was posted from an hour, a little bit over an hour away from me, from the second protest that was going on, the second peaceful rally that was going on, this woman responded to me when I was talking about how there were so many racists, because there really are. If you had saw that comment section, you would have just been like, really? There really are a whole lot of racists. Racists are everywhere, but I'm just saying, like, the people who were showing up in droves in this comment section to just say all lives matter and y'all are it was just the things that they were saying. It's like, okay, you're obviously racist. Like, don't nobody have time for this foolishness. So the woman had the nerve to tag me, and she said something about how why are you trying to make it seem like everybody's racist and all the cops aren't bad and all this other stuff. And then she's a white woman, and I don't know if she adopted, I think she adopted or something. She said she had a black son. I saw her profile picture. Her and her husband were as white could be. And I'm looking like, okay, well, your son must have been adopted. That's fine and dandy, nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying. But she was like, I have a black son, and I don't just think that everybody's just out to get him and and all this other stuff. Everything isn't racially whatever. She was just trying to make it seem like everything isn't racist. So I responded to her, and I wish that I could have saved it and put it on my thing to just read off word for word what I said. But anyway, the gist of what I said was, apparently you don't understand what's going on, because this would not have to happen if people were doing what they needed to do. You don't have to sit up there and wonder whether or not you're going to make it home at the end of the day, no matter what you leave the house to do. You don't have to sit up there and literally say, oh my gosh, am I going to make it home today? I got to go here. I got to go there. And in all honesty, even in my adulthood, my earlier adulthood, even when I was in dangerous situations, when I was a social worker, I never feared for my life. I never feared for my life. And I was in some dangerous neighborhoods, like really dangerous. Literally, one time, 5 minutes after I left, they shot it up. And my mama called me frantic because she knew where I was that day. She called frantic, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, oh my gosh, you all right? I'm like, yeah, why do you ask? She was like, they just shot up that area that you said you was in. I'm like, what? And I had just left, literally left 5 minutes. It takes me like 5 minutes to get out of that neighborhood. So I literally turned the corner and they shot it up. So for me to not be fearful at that age, and now it's at a point where I'm like, Am I gonna make it home? And then it's like, it done got to the point now where I'm at the house. Are they gonna kick the door in and kill me by mistake? Like, there's just so many factors that a lot of people are not taking into consideration, and it irks my soul. It gets on my nerves. And people don't understand why so many people are outraged. I saw Killer Mike when he did what he did. And I have always had respect for Killer Mike. And I understand what he's saying about, not burning down your businesses and all this other stuff and your houses. I get all that. But a lot of people ain't trying to hear none of that. And it just, I mean, I don't want to say it is what it is, but it is. Because that's what's exactly been happening in some of these places. They have been burning stuff down. A lot of people have been burning the cop cars down. They've burned the actual police stations down. They burnt that Target down, but a lot of people are not understanding that the reason why they burned that Target down was because Target was like funding them or so. It was something. Like, I was like, oh, okay, well, I see why. But I mean, I'm not saying that they needed to do that, but I understand the correlation. But yeah, y'all. But yeah, anyway, when I was talking to the woman, I responded to her, and then she responded back to me. And oh no, the last part of what I said, I kept toying. I kept saying to myself, should I say this to her? Should I say this to her to shut her up because it's not hitting home for some reason? The last thing I said to her within that message that I sent to her, I said, maybe if your son had to experience something like this that's racially motivated, that maybe then that would be the only way you would understand. I said something to that effect. I made sure that it was in a way that wasn't me wishing death on him or anything like that, because that's not what I was doing at all. So she did understand exactly what I meant, and she knew that it meant no disrespect and that it didn't come off in a negative way. So what she did was she responded to me, and she was like, I'm on your side, and I would love to know what we can do to try to help, because I'm really trying to help. What can we actually do to help the situation? What can we do so that we can move forward in life? And I was just like, in all honesty, all this stuff has been going on for years, long before I ever came along, before I was born, before me and you was born, all of that. And at the same time, it's sad and it shouldn't be going on. And I told her, look, there are already things in place that people have done. I told her about the ACLU. I told her about all the meetings that people have. People go to council meetings, sit in on these council meetings. People do these rallies. People do these protests. People do these riots. People do all of these things. But the problem is still there. The problem still exists. And I told her, in all honesty, it starts at home. It starts at home. A lot of this stuff is learned behavior, and it is embedded in them at a young age. And I told her briefly about the fact that I will never meet one of the uncles that I have, because he was with family and friends enjoying a hot summer day swimming, and racist white men drowned him. Now keep in mind, my uncle knew how to swim. All of my relatives, they knew how to swim. All my uncles and all of them, they knew how to swim. So it wasn't a fact of, oh, well, maybe you had it mixed up. Maybe he just didn't know how to swim. No, he knew how to actually swim. That was something that they actually did, like little contests, all that stuff. Like, he knew how to swim. He was just killed by racist white men that day. And I never got a chance to meet him. He never got a chance to meet me because he was killed. So yeah, I left her with that, and I just was telling her, things are in place, but nothing has changed, and I don't think it ever will fully get to where it needs to be. It all starts at home. Anyway, y'all, I didn't mean for it to be that long, but when I tell you today has been such a draining day, y'all, these braids do not take any time. I literally have been trying to finish my hair all day. I should have been done by 3:30. I literally finished at 7:30. And I started at like 1 or 2. And even when I take breaks, it literally shouldn't have taken me past at the absolute latest 4. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening to me ramble on and on. I really do appreciate all the love and support that I get. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see y'all later on.